Yeah. So once we have a business plan, we draw up everything where we're gonna be in 5, 3 years, 1 year. So once we all done with it, what would be the next steps? Next step you would do?
Well, I guess you want to consider or what you achieve. So once you've done your business plan, you have a fairly decent idea of what you want to achieve. And that kind of drives the next step, I guess, which in my opinion is the question is, do I need to set up a company? Or do I consider just doing it on my own in my own personal name? So property investing, you can do it in both ways. What I always say to people is that's not something I can really advise you on, because I think for you to make the decision, you actually really need to be quite clear about your own financial situation, again, and what you want to achieve in 3 to 5 years, or by the time you're 65. So all those things need to be taken into account of when you make that decision of, do I do it in the company or do I do it in my personal name? So if you are, for example, a high income earner, doing it in a company, it's probably a bit more tax beneficial than you're doing it in your own name. So that's one of the things that people need to look at. So tax is one of them, but also there's loads of other things in terms of protection from the perspective of when you do things in a limited company. You're a bit more protected from your personal assets perspective. So there's lots of things to consider. But I always say, speak to your accountant. He's your trusted advisor, or he should be your trusted advisor. And your accountant is always going to be the most up to date with the latest laws and regulations in terms of tax, and of course in your own personal finances, he or she should also be pretty up to date as well. So that would be my next thing. But if you were to go down the road of setting up a company, for example, well, there's a lot of things a lot of ways you can do that as well. So I don't know, is there anything else you want to add to that, Peter? Is there anything you think that is missed?
No, absolutely. You're right. It's very important to know. Once you know what you're going to achieve, it's very important to know and do your things accordingly. So, and especially when it comes to setting up the company or doing it on your name, that's a huge decision. You shouldn't make that decision without consulting someone who knows the latest regulations and the law. And I would definitely advise, before you moving in any way, to have a discussion, at least a free or paid discussion with a tax advisor or accountant, because most of the time a lot of property accountants, some of them tax advisor as well, sometimes it's two different things, but also some of them business advisor as well, can be your business advisor as well, just like how we do it, and the lots of good advice from them. I definitely would recommend, before you even start to open your limited company, to have at least a discussion with someone, and who's going to advise on your circumstances, how you should proceed moving forward to the next steps.